Hey guys, so I'm just gonna tell a little story and then roll into the big scoop of things. So let's get to it. It was August 25th, 2012, and I decided to go to the fair with some of my buddies. It comes around 9 o'clock. I call my dad and ask him if I could stay out later to hang out with them more. And he tells me that he's concerned I won't make it to work the next day if I stay out later. Well, after assuring him that I would, he let me stay out. So I get home at around midnight, and then I go to my dad's room, and I just peek in to see if he's awake. He said, "What's up?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm home. I'll get to work tomorrow on time. I love you. Good night." He said, "All right, buddy, love you. Good night." So then I go to work the next day, and then it's about noon, and they put me on a lunch break. So I go upstairs and walk past my manager's office, and she says, "Hey, you're getting your stuff." I didn't know what she was talking about because I haven't heard anything. So I go to the break room after she tells me there's a family emergency that they're coming to get me. So I go to the break room, and I just throw away my lunch and grab my stuff because I just felt sick. And then I call, I think it was my grandma, and I insisted on going to the hospital because I could drive myself, and I didn't know it wasn't in town, so they told me just to wait. And then my two aunts and my grandpa pulled up to my car in the parking lot, and my aunt gets out of the passenger seat, and then she comes around the side and lets me in, and then sits me in between her and my grandpa. We begin to drive, and then my aunt, I think, asked if they should tell me, and I said, "Tell me what?" And I'm looking around, and I look over my grandpa, and he just breaks down crying and telling me that my dad is dead and that he's gone forever and he's so sorry. This obviously caught me off guard. I felt completely lost because I didn't have a good relationship with my mom, and I was only 16, about to turn 17. So even though I had my family right next to me, I felt really alone. We drive to the hospital 30 minutes away, and I get there and see my dad's friend crying outside. Well, we go in and get brought into this plain white empty waiting room. It had maybe a few chairs in it. And then they ask us if we want to donate his organs. We are, obviously frustrated about it at the time, but say yes, of course. And then they ask us if we're ready to see him. So I say yes, and they open the door right next to us, and there my dad is, lying on his bed with ice on his body, preserving his organs and all that. And I don't think that I was ready for it at all, because I almost fell right there, and I was crying my eyes out, and I found it hard to breathe, and I thought I was actually going to pass out from lack of oxygen. But I actually want to tell you this, and it's because, it leads into 2 months later, and I made the decision that I was going to take my life. I decided already. I had fully thought about it for a few days, and I decided I was going to tell one person so that they could tell my family it wasn't an accident. And that I just wanted to be with my dad again. So I go to school the next day as if I didn't talk to her about it. And then a few hours into the school day, I get pulled out of class by my guidance counselor, which was normal because he talked to me a lot after my dad had passed, about once a month. And then I get in there, and my family's all waiting in there for me. And he told me that he had gotten a call from my friend, and then I look over to my uncle, and I'm apologizing, and he said that he was the sorry one, and that he can't afford to lose me because I was the closest thing to my dad that he had. And I think at that point is when I finally realized that I wasn't in this battle alone. I wasn't the only person that was experiencing heartache from this. And that's the problem with people who are feeling suicidal or suffer from depression, is that they feel like they are completely alone. They feel like there's nobody else there for them, and that they're more of a nuisance than they are a benefit to people's lives, no matter how close the person is to them. They feel like they're better off dead, and they feel like it's better for everybody, not just themselves. I couldn't be happier today that I'm alive, but I do still experience depressive episodes, I should say. I do not want to end my life in any way, shape, or form. Life is beautiful. It's great. And no matter how hard things get, I don't think I'll ever feel that way again. But most people don't get that chance, because most people that are thinking about it have already made up in their mind that people do not love them, that they are not wanted around, and that nobody would miss them if they were gone. And it's really shitty. They feel like they're completely alone in that battle. For example, this guy named Kevin Hines, there was an interview on him. He had jumped from the Golden Gate Bridge, and he experiences that day where he was walking along the bridge thinking about doing it, and a lady asked him to take her picture on the bridge. And at that point he realized that nobody would care if he was dead. So he let her walk away, and then he turned toward the railing of the bridge. He ran toward the edge and launched himself off, going 75 miles an hour into the water, and he survived. There are 19 people that have survived jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, and every single one of them has said, as soon as my hands left the rail, I instantly regretted my decision. They all instantly regret the decision as soon as they made it. Some people don't get that opportunity based off their the ways that they choose to end their life, but those that have time in between absolutely experience it. 2,000 people, over 2,000 people have died jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, and you kind of come to wonder if all 2,000 of those people had the same regret once their hands left that railing. It's hard to realize how beautiful life is until it's about to end. I can't say I've experienced myself, but I'm sure it's a very scary thing. I didn't get that close to doing so. I didn't make an attempt, but I surely wanted to, and it was amazing to me how many people cared once they knew what I was going through. So now there's not really a lesson plan that I can give that's simple to get rid of those suicidal ideations or suicidal tendencies. It's just a matter of having somebody tell you, remind you that you are loved. No matter who you are, there's always one person out there that cares enough about you that doesn't want to see you gone. Some of us don't hear it enough because the world is pretty toxic, and with social media, people don't really care what they say. They're quick to judge others. There's this preferred lifestyle that everybody has in mind. If somebody doesn't live it, they look down upon them, and it's not right. I can understand why it's hard to find hope nowadays when you're feeling that way. But somebody does care, and no matter who you are, even if I don't know you, I personally would appreciate you reaching out to me and talking about this, because all it took is talking to one person that could save your life. Life can come down really hard on you. Some of it can be very sudden, and some of it can be years of agony and pain. But the one thing you can't do is think that the best way to get through it is to shut everybody out of your life or to end your life. You need to bring yourself close into those people. You need to go out and remind yourself the things that you love about life. Like for me, every time I'm home, I like to go down to the lake when the sunset goes down, and I just love watching over. It reminds me how beautiful the world is, and how lucky I am to be able to witness that. Because once you die, you don't get to witness that anymore. There's no guarantees after. We all like to hope and we all like to believe that there is. I do. But there's no guarantee. That could be the last time you could ever see that sunset over the water. The last time you could ever drive and feel the wind coming through your windows while listening to music. The last time that you can hear somebody's laughter. The last time that you can hear somebody tell you that they love you. It's very hard to think about. And I don't think that any of us want to be in that boat. So before you think of ending your life or continue with your suicidal ideations, you should think about those around you and the beautiful parts of life rather than focusing on the negatives. Because it does take time. Yes, I still experience depression from time to time, but I absolutely do not want to end my life because I've already beat that part. I know how beautiful life is. I love it. And even through all the hardships, I wouldn't give it up for anything. So that's the battle right there. That's the key. You just need to get to a point where you understand the positives over the negatives in your life, and you need to reach out to somebody. Don't be embarrassed. Do not be embarrassed to reach out to somebody, because if I hadn't, I don't know where I'd be today. I could very well still be alive, or I could very well not. I don't know what I was going to do. I could have pussied out. I could have gone through with it. I don't know. Kevin Hines found out. That's one person you should look to as well if you're considering that option. You just need to reach out to people, because you may feel dumb at the time, but it's going to save your life. Oftentimes people don't want to reach out because they feel like a nuisance or they feel like a bother. So if you notice somebody that isn't particularly happy lately, you need to reach out to them and you need to tell them those things. You need to remind them that you love them, remind them that they're cared about. You don't have to say it like that. Just ask them to hang out and go get coffee or something. Tell them something nice about themselves. Compliment them in some way, shape, or form. Just do anything to remind somebody that they are not alone in whatever battle that they are going through. If any of you guys have any questions or just need somebody to reach out to, my social media accounts and contact information will be in the box below, in the description box below. If you have any suggestions for other videos you would like to talk about, or if you, like I said, you just need somebody to talk to, please do not hesitate to reach out. Life is beautiful, guys. It really is. Times get really shitty, really fucking shitty sometimes, but that's never the answer. Suicide is very selfish because of how you affect the other people around you, and it may not seem like that. You don't look at it that way at the time, but I think that in time, once you beat that, you can get through anything. Alright, I love you guys. I will post on my Snapchat when the next video will be coming. If you have any suggestions for what content you would like that to be, please put it in the comment section below, or message me on any of the social media accounts that I put in the description box. Thank you guys again so much for watching.